order. Believe in opportunities, achievement, and community for all. Our mission is the School District of Milton, in partnership with the community, prepares our students for achievement and lifetime readiness by providing opportunities for all. And if we could please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all so much, and thank you those in the audience for coming out on this cold, chilly, pre-winter evening. We're going to start with I would entertain a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Any questions or comments? I have a motion from Rick, a second from Ed. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I would entertain an action on the minutes.
I'll move to approve the minutes of the regular meeting held on October 27th, 2025 as presented.
Second.
A motion from Jen and a second from Rick. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, I'd entertain an action on tonight's vouchers.
I'll make a motion to approve general checking account vouchers totaling $671,259.29 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion from Rick, a second from Ed. Any comments or questions on the vouchers? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Student Council Report. Chris.
Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Knutson, and over the past month, Student Council has been working very hard. Lately, we set up the trick-or-treating event at the high school and handed out candy to many kids. The event seemed like a success for us, and many kids were happy to go trick-or-treating with us. Also, we have started up the Feeding Milton Families event following the end of the SNAP benefits. Student Council members and others met up this Sunday and packed thousands of bags of food. We've received some food donations, which is needed in order to keep families moving during the cold fall and winter seasons. Over the past week or two, we have also put out a survey to commemorate the veterans that students may know or want to recognize on slides throughout the school day, as Veterans Day is coming up. Holiday week is December 15th through the 19th, and there will be dress-up days, some trivia games, and some hallway decorating. We also have Winter Week, which is February 2nd through the 6th, with dress-up days, an assembly focused on the Unity Team Special Olympics, and the winter sports and activities. We will also have the Betty Perdue Memorial Badminton Tournament, and possibly a dance on February 7th. Do you have any questions or comments?
Let's take a minute to congratulate you. Anybody who had anything to do with the food drive this last weekend. I think it's a moment of pride for everybody in the community. So I think I'm safe in speaking for a lot of people when I say thank you. It was one of the most amazing things I've seen in my time. Unfortunately, the great years in my beard, that's been a while. So thank you very much. Please pass it on to anybody else.
Yep.
Thank you. Public comment. We have nobody for public comment tonight, so then we move on to the superintendent Red Hawk highlights. I have a question for you. With the school-based pantries, what can we as a community do to help keep those stocked? Like, what's the plan for that?
I think
Thank you, and thank you to each of the schools for continuing the efforts. Any,
that's everything I had on that. Any questions on Red Hawk Highway?
right, we'll move on to new business. Fall Legislative Conference. Ed?
Thanks, Dr. Smith. And we'll try that. Thank you. I thought I pushed that. All right. Thank you, Dr. Smith. Last Saturday, I was fortunate enough to attend the Wisconsin Association of School Boards Legislation Conference. The day had 5 one-hour sessions. The first one was a federal update from Jared Solomon, who's a senior policy advisor from Bose Group in Washington, D.C. The second session was an overview of state budgets and how they affect schools. The third session was working with your board to do legislation work, and it was kind of a think tank, a very interactive session. The fourth session was a look at some state data trends and how they impact legislation. And lastly, was really we were very fortunate to have two state representatives there, Representative Kitchens and Senator Pfaff was there, and they really had a very nice informative session on like how best to interact with them if you have questions and how to efficiently work with them. So as I walked out the door and I had 2 hours of my drive home to reflect on the day, I took it as a very positive meeting. I got to interact with a lot of different school districts, which is always the best part of getting together at any conference, just like we do in January. But I also took away that, I think Rich and Ross do a really good job, and Chris Tukendorf, of, keeping us up to date as need be. But there's also opportunities for us to be even more engaged. And I've scheduled a meeting with Annette and Rich, or I'm going to do that tonight. We've emailed back and forth, haven't set a date, how best to bring some of these ideas forth to the governance committee. So there's more to come there. But just like our own local budget, and Ross does a great job of expressing this to us, there's a lot of moving pieces when it comes to legislation, and it's kind of complex. So being engaged can be very, very helpful. There are certainly in the world today those who want to see more funding for education and those who want to see less funding for education. So being aware of the issues and knowing where we stand on them and being able to speak logically and informatively to them is certainly super important to this board. So something that we'll be bringing forward in future governance meetings. It was a great session. I was lucky to be there. Any questions for me?
Thank you so much for attending and representing us, Ed. Appreciate it. All right, we are on to the 25-26 superintendent evaluation form and process.
Okay, so over the course of each year, the Board of Education completes a comprehensive evaluation of the superintendent's performance, reviews progress on current goals, and sets new goals for the upcoming year. On our board meeting on October 13th, the district transitioned to the WASB superintendent evaluation framework from our own in-house model. Tonight, I'd like to walk you through the timeline and key steps that we'll be following over the next several weeks. First, after tonight's board meeting in executive session, the board will meet where Superintendent Dahman will share his self-evaluation with the board. And second, tomorrow, November 11th, each board member will receive a link to complete their individual evaluations of the superintendent's performance through the WASB online platform. The deadline for completing this survey is November 17th. So please watch for that email coming from Dr. Smith. And third, on November 24th, the board will meet in closed session to review the compiled results and share the final evaluation with Superintendent Dahman. It's important to note that this process is designed to provide meaningful, structured feedback while ensuring remaining compliant with Board Policy 1240 evaluation of the district administrator. The WASB framework gives us a clear roadmap and professional support through each of these phases. Any questions for me on the process or the dates outlined?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next, we will move on to C, discussion and possible action on number of instructional days.
And there is a memo in your document on this topic, and School Board Policy 8210 dictates that the board shall determine annually the number of days when schools will be in session for instructional purposes. The number of days that are recommended, 175.5, give us additional instructional hours to spare, while also allowing a continuation of our Monday early release time for professional learning communities each week, which we found to be very valuable. With the 175.5 instructional days, elementary would have a little over 7 additional days beyond that minimum. And the minimum is a minimum. It isn't a place where we should be. And we always want to have some extra built in. And secondary would have about 4.7 instructional days above that minimum. Once the number of instructional days is approved, we would finalize the 26-27 calendar with feedback from the MEA, and then we would share out those 26-27 calendar with the board, with staff, and with families.
Any questions?
I have a question, Rich. Can you speak to why we have the virtual days built in?
Yes, we have days built in throughout the year where our staff have full days for professional development. And they're really valuable days for us to do some training, district-wide with staff, and also to give staff some time to do to work on report cards at the end of the semester for elementary students, and to work on trimester changeover for the secondary staff. And if we didn't use those days as an instruction, we could add more on-site days. We would extend the calendar further into June, that our schools are pretty warm without air conditioning. And also, we are able to start summer school when we'd like to. Or it would shorten up our breaks, like winter break and spring break.
Thanks. I guess the question comes to mind. So the virtual days are a benefit for the staff. I'm wanting to be sure that we don't shortchange the students. I think personally, I would think that on-site instruction is superior to virtual instruction in most cases. So I'm just kind of raising the question of, are we doing the best for the kids by having those 3 virtual days?
The way that we've approached in the past, as we've looked at scheduling those days, is those 3 days would be, it could be just professional development days without any instruction. By scheduling those as virtual days, we're not taking away days from the students, we're giving them virtual instruction rather than not any instruction. Or we would have to shorten up our number of non-student work days overall for the staff, because we have our teaching staff have 190 days in their contract. So with that 175.5 of instructional days, and then the 0.5 is because the very last day of school with students are dismissed at noon, so that staff have a half day to do report cards and close things out for the summer. But we would have to have fewer days if we had the PD days during the year as work days, and we added more instructional days. It would have to shrink up the number of non-instructional days that staff work at times like the start of the school year, to get ready for the start of the school year, and the PD days during the year. And we've kind of found a happy medium with the start of the school year workshops, because we do a lot of training during that time. We do our welcome back, but we also give staff time in their classrooms to get their classrooms ready for the start of the school year. So I would hate to reduce those number of days, especially reduce them by 3. We'd be really, really tight on the work that needs to get done before the school year starts.
I'm wondering, Rich, excuse me, If there is some value to our students to have the opportunity to learn virtually as well as face-to-face, if that opportunity exists, if it would be, if there wouldn't be an opportunity for someone in the future to speak to that, to answer Joe's question.
I can speak to that
Okay,
right now, and we can get more if we bring this agenda item back to the next meeting. But most of our students, if they go on to any type of higher education, are going to be expected to do some of their studies virtually, and giving students that practice, if you will, doing that now while they're still in K-12 school is something that helps them develop those skills down the road. And there are some great activities that our teachers put together for students to work on during those virtual days. It isn't just a log onto your computer and just hang out time. There's some strong planning and excellent activities that are prepared. And I don't know if there's anybody in the audience that wants to share anything to that, or did that answer your question, or not necessarily?
Yeah, I'm good.
I was trying to get a clear answer because what I heard Joe say is his concern was for students, and I heard you speak eloquently to the value for staff, but I wanted to make sure we were answering that question in terms of how and if it helps students. And I see someone from the audience is walking up, and so, okay, thank you.
Green light's on. All right. So I think our K3, actually K6 have choice boards that have been created that's standards aligned. Some of those activities are extended learning from what they already do in the classroom, and it's additional practice. So those are things that kids they're not trying to relearn new skills or standards on their own. There are things that they've already been exposed to, have learned in the classroom as an extension. So those are done usually independently because we're trying to teach them independence and how to be responsible. So I think that's what we do at the K6 level. At the 7 and 12, they're also still extending their lessons from what classroom teachers are doing, but then it's just an extension to practice. It's more to show that they really understand the standards, or if some of the kids just need a second scoop, there are additional supports within some of the videos that teachers are embedding into the Schoology. And so kids they are learning virtually, asynchronously, but it doesn't mean that they're not getting any additional education. So we have been very intentional on those virtual learning days. We originally had 5, and then we took the feedback from our families in the community, and we reduced that to 3. And we have gotten positive feedback from families that going from 5 to 3, but we have had success in our scholars who are learning virtually. So I just wanted to just reiterate the teaching and learning world kind of covers those virtual learning days, and especially those choice boards for our K6.
Thank you so much for doing that on the fly. Appreciate it. Any other questions? Is it the will of the board to have a motion tonight or to wait until next meeting?
I'll make a motion to approve 175.5 instructional days for the 26-27 school year, with 172.5 days of on-site instruction and 3 days of virtual instruction.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Rick and a second from Ed. Any other questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you so much. We are on to the spring school board election. And just to echo what Superintendent Dahman just shared, please, if you have questions or you're interested, I would suggest reaching out. I'd be happy to answer any questions about the role of a school board representative. I'm speaking for others on the board, but I don't know that anybody wouldn't be willing to talk to you and share their experience and encourage you to get involved. It's important, it's good work, and this is a really good team of people to work with. So thank you for bringing that forward. All right, we move on to action on our staffing report.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion from Rick, a second from Jen, to approve our staffing reports. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, we're on to gifts and donations. I have a motion from Jen, a second from Ed. Any questions or comments? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Meeting dates.
Those are the next two that are coming up.
Rich, just to clarify, November 24th.
Yep. So
Okay,
I said the 25th, that is Monday, the 24th.
okay. Thank you. That was a full slate of meetings before the end of the year. All right. Next, we're going to contemplate a closed session pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 1985 1C concerning employment, promotion, compensation, and performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. And we will be going into closed session to discuss the annual superintendent evaluation. More details of that were shared, that timeline, by Chris earlier tonight. So
Also move.
I have a motion from Joe, a second from Rick, and we will do a roll call on that one. Jen? Yes. Rick?
Yes.
Annette's a yes.
Yes.
And yes.
All right, we are in closed session. Thank you all so very much. Oh, yep. And just to clarify, we will not be coming back into open session. There will be no action items. So thank you. Yes, we can leave the meeting. Yep.